Well, good morning, gamers. It is August 14th, 2024. I am Adam Blue. This is the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. Every morning, Monday through Friday, around this time, 8 a.m. Central, I'll talk video game news, my latest thoughts on video games, what I've been playing, etc. So this week has been pretty light in general with news. Coming off of some more layoffs and stuff, not too much has been going on. So let's start here with the exo phase to look at what I have been playing. So yes, I did a little Metal Slug Awakening to do my dailies. Stormgate, that was something I tried out. That was the one that's like StarCraft and Warcraft I was talking about. I was really excited about. It was it's in early access right now, but you could pay to play it until I think it was yesterday, where it's free to play. I played a little bit of it. I didn't play too much, but what I played so far was okay. It felt, again, like I was talking about, like the StarCraft and Warcraft, but very much more like Warcraft 3. Starting with the campaign, it was more of those missions where you're just a single person and you just click around and move around. I prefer the RTSs where they kind of get to the base building and the action right away. So I'll have to spend some more time with it. But it didn't grab me like a Tempest Rising did, for instance, even though that is kind of a different type of RTS. Next up is Metal Slug 4. Let's see, and this is one where when I launched the game, I was playing Metal Slug 4 in RetroArch, and when I launched it I was actually playing it on a very small handheld device, and I couldn't read the text because I think it's not doing hardcore mode, but it's still getting the achievements I need. I think it had something to do with the type of ROM I was using. That part's always confusing, but yeah, played a little bit of Metal Slug 4. But I don't want to go too much further. I want to kind of step back, play the first, second, and third some more, just to kind of unlock more of what's achievable there. And then I jumped into the Mafia Definitive Edition, as that was put on Xbox Game Pass, luckily also Windows 10. I didn't realize this. Well, I did, but didn't realize this was a thing. I mean, is this really? Let's see. The Definitive Edition came out in. Actually, I'm sharing a new tab. It actually came out in 2020. So this isn't necessarily a new game, but it actually looks really good. And these open world games, right? They've kind of morphed into something different, and they're all kind of similar. And there's more fantasy style open world games now than there are these sort of realistic semi-modern day. And it was kind of fun just playing Mafia for the like 10-15 minutes I did, because it's been a while playing a game like that, kind of just a classic GTA clone. But yeah, 15 minutes, but not enough to keep me in. To be honest, I just wasn't playing too much yesterday anyway. I just played a little bit here and there. Altron was saying the Definitive Edition also came out on PS Plus. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because and I know there's even the third one that just came out recently, and that was on Game Pass not too long ago also, of the Mafia games. I just wonder, like, to me, when I think of the Mafia games, I think like that was a cool idea at one point. Do people really care nowadays? I don't know. Yeah, and coming from the same publisher that has or no, am I thinking a different company? Take-Two, 2K, Grand Theft Auto. Well, let me look that up real quick. Actually, Mafia publisher. It's funny. It's showing 2K Games and Take-Two Interactive, published by 2K Games, whereas Take-Two um, had the Rockstar developer, but now that's 2K. So Take Two is under 2K. Yeah, GTA's Rockstar. Yeah, but I was trying to figure out where Rockstar was. So Rockstar was with Take Two. 2K got Take Two. It's just the naming convention is confusing. Take Two and 2K. Okay. Let's move on here. So, what I wanted to show was yesterday I talked about this briefly. I said that, oh, there's this company that's making these two games, Halloween games, and I didn't really dive deep into a video from IGN where one of the games is an Evil Dead game where you play as Ash, and there he is shooting his shotgun. We have what looks like life at the top. It looks like it's hearts. Looks like there's a little eyeball by the purple meter with a 20 there, so there could be some specials. Same with Mike Myers, although I'm not as interested. But what's interesting is we're seeing I forget what they're called, the Eagleos or something. There's a name for that. The demons from Ash vs. Evil Dead that are in this stage that Mike Myers is actually playing on. So yeah, it is a two games in one thing, but it's interesting that you can buy them separately or buy them together. I would just end up buying them both. I think it's very awesome that they're making an Evil Dead game, side scroller 2D pixel art. I mean, that's just again, the world we're living in is mine. And they're doing the things that it would be even better if this ended up being like a Metroidvania. Uh, I mean, an Evil Dead Metroidvania would be so awesome where, yeah, you're still like exploring the cabin and the basement, the area around it. These things end up happening, though. These things that I wish for, so it's probably going to happen. Um. Anyway, so this, I did see something about when it gets released. I'm sure it's going to be later this year, probably by Halloween. Yeah, I saw something here about Way Forward. Uh, let's see. Way Forward is actually making the artwork, which is amazing. If that's how they went about it. Yeah, look at this shot. Like the pixel art, being Ash, jumping around, nail gun, deadites. Yeah, this is everything I've ever wanted. So it's pretty amazing. Okay, let's see if there's any other interesting stuff that I pulled up. Oh yeah, we'll look at this just really quick. So yeah, today's the 14th. So according to this, we have Sam and Max Devil's Playhouse Remastered coming out. And as I talked about yesterday, Kenna Bridge of Spirits. And then for the rest of the week, Hunt Showdown, Farewell North, Cricket, Arco, Madden NFL 25. Yeah, again, nothing that's jumping out at me. I really feel like I'm in this lull just playing free-to-play games until Star Wars Outlaws and Gunnerbreaker 4. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and just dive into news, some of the latest news. So Helldivers 2 director responds to fan complaints by saying the latest update didn't hit our target. You know what? I have not been playing Helldivers 2 for a while. Like I feel like I got so much value out of that game. I played so much of it, had so much fun. They could add whatever else they want to the game. Yeah. Intel sells 1.18 million stake in ARM. That's interesting. Huh. Wonder what that would mean. Okay, Baldur's Gate 3 wins Hugo Award. Valve implementing new rules to refine Steam store page written descriptions. Okay. Minecraft database includes a new PS5 ID, hinting towards a full release. Kind of funny, huh? How PlayStation 5 doesn't even have a Minecraft release yet. It's very interesting how a lot of things can just be the PS4 version and they just work. Um, but it's nice to get official PS5 versions. Man connects 444 consoles to one TV to earn a Guinness World Record. That man, look at that. He's even got the whole scientist get up going on here. Okay, that's pretty insane. And what did he do? Okay, in order to achieve this, Al Nasser has connected hundreds of consoles via several HDMI switches to a single television. So that's when it became a fun little game, where he was probably able to daisy chain. And I get it. You got your TV. You only have a few ports. For anyone that is a console collector that would then be plugging them up to their TVs, yeah, you would need. I know I always needed multiple HDMI ports. You would need that extender, and then daisy chain one into that, and then eventually, yeah, the first console in his collection is the Magnavox Odyssey. Wow, with the latest being the PS5 Slim model. He also maintains a spreadsheet with every console assigned to a specific HDMI switches so that he is able to track which console he plans to turn on. For me, the best gaming console of all time, number one, always forever, Sega Genesis. Wow, he's got 444 consoles hooked up that he can play at any time, and his favorite is the Sega Genesis. I respect that. Al Nasir's impressive gaming collection doesn't stop at consoles, however. As shown in the video below, he has amassed countless of other gaming items, including several arcade machines and a lot of rare Metal Gear Solid merchandise. The record was confirmed by Guinness, the record-keeping organization known for publishing its annual collection of records. Since the mid-2000s, the company has moved away from the compilation of records and now instead offers its services as a means of publicity for companies. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times with these world records, it's more of a fun little thing than anything like practically, wow, you were able to achieve this for the greater good. Although maybe getting 444 consoles hooked up to a single TV is an experiment for the greater good. But you know what? That reminds me that there was that time, and this was, transitioning out of moving out of my parents' house, because by the time I was moving out of my parents' house, I had my collection of consoles. I had, Genesis, 32X, Sega CD, Super Nintendo, and 60. I mean, there were so many during that time that I had in Dreamcast, even Xbox. This was right before I moved out of my parents' house. And when uh, it- when I moved out, the thing for the first place I moved into was setting up all my consoles, and so that's what it was like every time I would then move into a new place. I was always planning, how I would set up my consoles, the various furniture I had to hook up, and this was an interesting time because I went for when I first moved out, having, a pretty sizable CRT. It was like 26, 25-inch CRT. Um, and and maybe a little bigger than that. But then it went to the HD TVs, but it was before they were widescreen. Even though I think they were coming out widescreen, they were still the 4:3. And so, yeah, the first HD TV I got was that. And I remember how much of a pain in the butt it was to get it to my apartment, up the apartment stairs, plugged it in. And the first main game that I was playing in HD was True Crime, Streets of LA, right? Is that what it was? The first True Crime? Yeah, was LA, and it was in 720p, which looked fantastic. Um, but kind of going back to this guy with 444, like that's kind of fun. Like there's something fun about that. But even I felt a little claustrophobic from having all of my consoles out and then all of my games out. And then it got a time as I was then, getting in relationships and getting kids, where then I was like not putting everything out, but then I would put everything out. And then it got to a point to where I was thinking of the practicality of it, like when I'm really needing to play something, and I would rather just have it prepared on an emulator than dig it out somewhere. Or even if I had everything connected and hooked up, I would, plan to then play this thing here. And so, yeah, it got to a point where I would just then emulate, or if a service had it available, like retro games on Steam or something, I would just do that. And then that's where, I got into my head to just sell my entire collection. Um, and then, just to show this again, because we see this guy's screenshot, or the screenshot here with this guy, and it's like, is he like in a basement where he can do this? Can he afford like office space or warehouse space or something to do all this? Because it is cool. If I had the space and it wasn't really an issue, I would probably, not now, but then, because now, yeah, now I even kind of struggle with space too with the collectibles I get and that I have, where sometimes I'm like, man, it's like I want this stuff, but I don't want everything out. And that kind of maybe is a personal thing for me, where I do like to see the negative space. I don't like everything to be too cluttered, even though I like, you know. So it was very interesting. It was easy then for the hobby of gaming for me to transition out of having to collect each console and physical copy of something to have on display, to still be able to enjoy the video games for what they are and not need that extra stuff that was causing all that clutter. Um, and then there was even a time where, because I was hooking up these classic consoles to, I had my HD TVs, but also had the CRTs, so I could get the picture quality I want. And, the first main one I had was a Sony PVM, and I have a video up about that on the YouTube channel. They were medical monitors, but they were able to be pixel perfect. Even the input, the way it did the S video, so I would hook up a Genesis and it would look fantastic. But eventually, we came across, me and this other guy that was into this stuff that lived nearby. We came across the NEC XM29 monitor. That was the best monitor for playing retro games. You would use the component adapters. Let's see, the SCART adapters, RGB basically, to get the actual RGB inputs. And I had that TV, I had the Sony PVM, and I also had a very like high-end 2000s CRT computer monitor, not like a flat screen monitor or a TV, but a CRT. That way I could take advantage of VGA, pixel perfect VGA, out of something like, the Dreamcast, um, and other consoles that did VGA. That stuff took up so much space. I remember even for each monitor I had, it had its own HDMI inputs for me to be able to hook up and play all the different consoles I had. I mean, it was pretty wild how much stuff I had, and I just think I spent too much time, a lot of time, fiddling with the physical items, getting things hooked up, putting things away, getting things out, or trying to have, so I have, and I wasn't focusing on the playing. And it's very interesting how, yeah, easy I adapted to just selling everything, and then I still have my, means of playing everything. The retro handhelds, especially with HDMI out, have proved like what I've been trying to accomplish. But anyway, just to kind of, go back, like, uh, it's just so fun to see a guy do something like this. Um, yeah, that's cool. But the maintenance. Oh man, when one console starts acting up, and then you have to, that's a whole time sink. Um, so check this out. There's this game Backaroo. That yeah, there's a free demo on Switch. I need to try it. This just looks like a fun, like classic 3D um action adventure game. Like, it reminds me a lot of stuff that would be from like a 3D Mario game, but then yeah, just other stuff through the years. I mean, and when I talk about what it reminds me of, it's like kind of the N64 PlayStation era kind of 3D games. A lot of goofy stuff going on. Yeah, so it's going to be out on multiple systems this year. I know this is saying that there's a demo on Switch, but it's going to be on PC and Xbox and PlayStation. I think Xbox. and it's made by the people who did Yoshi's Woolly World, Crafter World, Kirby's Epic Yarn, which are all fun games. So that's why I feel like this is going to be a fun game. A Backaroo, again, demo was on Switch. I need to check it out. I might have to check it out later. Even though I would probably end up getting it on PC or something. I don't know. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Anything else neat? Some Valorant getting new anti-toxicity feature. Interesting. I wonder how they're going to do that. It is just weird how like voice chat has changed over time, because there was that time in Halo 2, I think it was, where you had that proximity chat, but then you could press to talk over the radio, and that was like just the default. And it's so weird how we've kind of gone away from that. But it was also kind of a community driven thing. Like, this was newer for people, to play these games on the console with the mic so readily available. So people weren't douchebags right away. Yeah, it's always other people that come in and ruin it for everybody. But it was pretty fun at first. I remember with Halo 2 doing the proximity chat, using the mic when necessary. And it's just kind of changed. Like, even when I go to play games online when I'm by myself, I don't talk. If someone starts talking and maybe they are wanting to strategize, I might then pop on my mic and start talking back too. Let's see. X Defiance 1.4 patch drops today, but where are the players? Does this mean a lot of people aren't playing X Defiant? That's too bad. So Sustainable Games Alliance wants the industry to become sustainable. I mean, I wonder if they're talking about environmentally, like the types of materials being used, throughout, from development, from whatever. But I wonder if there's a way to sustain the game's play state even after it gets shut down. Delta Force Hawk Ops is the best Battlefield game I've played in years. Really? Really? Well, it would be great when that it gets released, which I think it was in a beta right now. Let me look it up real quick. Oh, and it's going to be free to play. Coming soon. So just as coming soon. So this could be. Oh, it's the same. Is this the same people as when I clicked, it didn't show it, but Metal Slug Awakening, Timmy, Timi. Okay, that's weird. But anyway, I would be down for a new shooter that's in the vein of Battlefield. I feel like it's been a while since I played something like that. Call of Duty is not that at all, and that's fine. They're different games, but I really want to get back to some cool, like, even Battlefield 1 was pretty fun. So let's see. New Black Ops 6 trailer showcases zombies, launch map, Terminus. Yeah, I'm really curious how Black Ops 6 is going to turn out, just in regards to it now being under Microsoft and on Game Pass. Is it going to be like, hey, this has been the greatest Call of Duty in years? I don't know. Let's see. Some esports stuff. VR Studio closing down. Oh, yeah, the whole Deadlock thing I talked about. Apparently, there's going to be an open beta coming soon. So, yeah. Yeah, developers reportedly told not to expect Switch 2 to launch before April 2025. And I think that makes sense for it to launch April 2025. It was very interesting how, like, a lot of the industry is depending on what Nintendo's doing, and a lot of what Nintendo's doing is depending on the industry. It's a weird limbo state right now with everybody, especially like with the rumors of Microsoft doing some more AR glasses type thing. And then that was also a rumor with Nintendo, but it could be that these console manufacturers are getting handhelds out before they do that next step, which is the AR glasses thing. But I also think they're like watching each other, trying to figure out what each other's doing. It's pretty interesting. Okay, well, that's about it for today. Yeah, not too much news going on, but there's stuff going on. So let me know if you're going to be playing, Mafia Definitive Edition at all. It did look pretty good for a 2020 release, I got to say. But I might want to reserve my open world game time for Star Wars Outlaws coming at the end of the month. Yeah, because I don't want to get myself burnt out. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.